Okay. So, welcome to our Karma Yoga class, where we honor the Indigenous peoples of Canada, in particular the Lytton Nation in the Okanagan of British Columbia. We also honor the Indigenous peoples around the world, in particular those from India who have brought us this practice of yoga. And as you all know, my teachers are from India, they are Indian, and I've spent my life trying to preserve what they have taught me, and I'm sharing this with you. So bending your knees, feeling your feet, and inhale, bringing the arms up. And exhale through the center, feeling your feet. Inhale, coming up. We're going to add an Om to this. Om. Do this in your own timing. When someone else is trying to get in, just keep going. And just keep going. So make sure you're all muted. Hands at the heart, Yogena Chatasya. This is to Patanjali. He brought us the Yoga Sutra, which is the central text of the yoga tradition. Yogena Chatasya Padena Vacha Malam Sharirasya Cha Vaijakena Yopakarotam Pravaram Munena Patanjalim Pranjaliranatosmi Abahu Purushakaram Shankachakra-sitarinam Sahasrashirasam Shwetam Pranamami Patanjalim Shrimate Anantaya Nagarajaya Namo Namaha. And when you're ready, bringing your feet together. Inhale, arms coming up. They can be side or front, coming up on the toes, if that's comfortable. And exhale, we're going to come to the side. So coming to your left, if that works, you can stay up on the toes or come down. And you can drop your bottom arm and Bend your top if you're working with the neck and shoulders, which a lot of you are today. That might feel better. Stick the hip out. That works into the lower back. Inhale, coming up. And exhale, other side. Just keep this going side to side. And pick your modification. So the hands can be together, palms together. You can interlock the fingers. You can stay up on the toes until the last moment. And you can even stay on the toes the whole time. So that's how it's taught classically in our tradition. It's a little bit challenging. So that's working more with the ankles. If you want to work more neck and shoulders, just adding that fluid movement. Doing this in your own timing in this class, I'm going to be asking you to work in your own time as much as possible. Finding your ujjayi pranayama. Pausing between inhale and exhale. Try to start to inhale before you start to move. Still inhaling at the end of the movement. And start to exhale before you start to move. Still exhaling at the end of the movement. So the breath guides the movement. This was a piece that you find in the latter part of Krishnamacharya's teachings, this refinement. And I believe it's because he was really using, in his latter years, he was using the practice to prepare for prāṇāyāma. And then in the very last part of his life, he was really using it to prepare for meditation. Now, when you feel ready, you can stay on one side. And if you like, as you all know your practice, you can stay on your easy side if you know what that is, and then go to your harder side. And this is usually what we do in yoga therapy is we start with the easy side and then go to the harder side. If you want to make it more challenging, you can stretch the arms long, upper back, neck, and shoulders, holding opposite elbows. You want to get into the lower back, our second theme today, you can cross the foot over of the side you're on, or the other way. Some people like it the other way, and you can even do it at the wall. Try to keep those shoulders even. If this is too much, you can go in and out of it as well. Something like this. And when you're ready, going to the other side. So this is a pose that I do almost every day in my own practice, just because I find it just works that whole side line as well as the shoulders, as well as the hip. For those of you who have ever had a back spasm, extremely painful. And I have found that this particular pose wards off back spasms in this big QL area, quadratus lumborum. So if you have that issue, you could keep this in mind. Again, keep it moving. If it feels too intense in the body, we're still warming up, so you might not be ready to stay. And when you feel that you have had enough, just come back to your samastiti. We're going to move into rotation. So upper back, neck, and shoulder theme. Inhale, arms coming up at the sides. Exhale, coming back to your left. Now that front arm, it can stay where it is, or it can cross over. I like this variation. It crosses to the back shoulder. You can keep your hips facing forward to work more on just the upper back, or you can let the hips go. You can play with that. It will have a different effect on the shoulders and back. Inhale, center, exhale, other side, pelvic floor, lower belly, belly button in. As you rotate, zipping up from the pelvic floor, up towards the chest, So it's just interesting how every day is different. In this class, I'm trying to teach it in a way that you can really go into your own practice. Since you all know what you're doing, do this in your own timing. It doesn't have to be with me. Inhale, center, exhale, side. Now, if you want to take it up a notch, you could on the inhale come on your toes, and exhale, you could even stay on your toes. Now that's quite challenging. That's working more with balance. Or what I like to do is come down on my heels as I exhale. When you've done around 6 rounds, left, right, or easy side, hard side, just finishing up. In yoga therapy context, I usually just do it until my body tells me I'm done. So that's another approach. Taking a break. Okay, we're going to go into the shoulders a bit more. Inhale, arms coming up, palms together or interlocked, your choice. Coming up on the toes if you want, optionally. Exhale, bringing your hands on top of your head and dropping those shoulders down as you come down on the heels. Really drop them down so those elbows down, and you'll feel between your shoulder blades. Inhale, coming up. Exhale, coming down. Try to keep those elbows wide. This is a new one. Inhale, that I discovered a month ago through playing with this. Exhale. You can put your mind, if there's one shoulder that's more problematic than the other, you can put your mind on that shoulder. This is a use of bhavana, focusing our intention on an aspect of our practice, directing prana to that area through this attention. And when you're ready, inhale up. Exhale, take a break. Arms down. That's also very strengthening for the shoulders. Okay, so we're going to do one more in this position. Tadasana. Inhale, arms coming up, either sides or fronts. Interlocking the fingers or palms together. Exhale, bring the heels down and stretch the palms up as much as you can and stretch the whole upper spine. Inhale, coming up. Now, alternatively, exhale, you can bring your hands on top of your head when you come down and drop your shoulders in that position. And then inhale, when you come up, start stretching from the bottom of the thoracic spine up to the top of the head. Exhale, coming down, hands on top of the head, heels coming all the way down or just hovering above the ground. Inhale, coming up. So from the lower back, top of the lower back, bottom of the thoracic spine, all the way up. Try it palms together, see if it's any different for you. And sometimes I like to do it with just leaving my hands up and stretching as I come down. Sometimes that works better for my body, so you can just play with that. And when you're finished, bringing your hands down, your arms down, and taking a rest. Okay. One more. Inhale, bringing the arms up, fold the arms, holding opposite elbows. Exhale, drop the shoulders down. Now feel one of the shoulders maybe a bit more than the other. You can change the crossing of the arms also. That will affect how the shoulders move. Inhale if you want, come up on those toes, bring the shoulders up. Exhale, draw the shoulders down the back as you come down. If you want to work on your balance, inhale coming up, and as you exhale, don't bring your heels all the way down, just hover. Try to draw that belly in. It's hard to focus on that when you're focusing on these shoulders. And something this trip to India I was taught that I hadn't figured out before is sometimes leaning a little bit forward can be helpful. If you have a bit more of lordosis in your back, your butt sticks out, so that could be helpful for some of you just to get that balance. And when you're ready, coming down, and I'm just going to invite you to come down with those bent elbows. All right, hello, neck and shoulders. So I thought we'd do some nerve flossing today because that was just a lot, just to move more in this direction. So bringing the legs to the side, this is something I created. This is not classical, but I created this and most of my students really love it. So in the West, we call this goddess pose. It's not a pose my teachers teach in Chennai, just to be clear. And the arm movement I'm teaching is inspired by physiotherapy. So bringing the hands up, holding some imaginary plates or pies. Inhale here, exhale, coming to the side, bending the elbows. It's also very grounding. The palms at the side with the fingers pointing up, middle finger up, and you might be feeling the palm, the middle finger. It's the medial nerve. Inhale, center, straighten the legs. Hold those pies, fingertips back. Exhale, pressing to the sides, tipping the fingertips back. This is getting to that radial nerve in the index finger. Bring your hands back to a place and you're bending at the wrist. Inhale, center, fingertips back. Exhale, coming to the side, the fingertips are up and then tip them forward, and that gets into the ulnar nerve. Inhale, coming up, and exhale, give it a rest. Surprisingly, a lot of work. Okay, we're going to take it to one side and the other now. So starting with the left, you're going to go into a Parshva position with your legs. A little bit unusual sequence today, but I think I'm just going to go with it. So inhale, center, exhale. You come to the side. We're going to find that position first. And the arm at the side, so this would be your right arm, I think. And your fingertips facing up, and your head loops down to your shoulder. And then inhale, coming up, bring your head the other direction to the other shoulder as the hand scoops to the heart. And this will get into your neck and shoulder. Exhale, side, tipping those fingertips back. So you're bent at the wrist, fingertips back. Inhale, coming up, and keep tipping your head side to side. Exhale, coming down, fingertips tipping forward. Your head tips down to the shoulder. Inhale, coming up. Exhale, center, going to the other side. So just inhale here, exhale, finding your pose. It's your left hand at the side, tip that head back to the shoulder. Inhale, coming up, straightening the legs. Tipping the head to the opposite shoulder, hand to the heart. Exhale, coming down, fingers center, then tip them back. Head tips towards the shoulder. Inhale, coming up. Exhale, coming down. Fingertips forward. Inhale up. Exhale, center. We're going to repeat the other side. Inhale, coming up. Exhale, center, tip fingertips back. Inhale, coming up. Exhale, tipping fingertips forward. We're going to do the center one now. Inhale, coming up. Exhale, center. Until center, feet parallel, switching to the other side, setting up the second side. Fingertips facing up. Inhale, coming up. Exhale, down, fingertips back. Inhale, coming up. Keep moving that head. Exhale, fingertips forward. Inhale, coming up. Exhale, fingertips facing up, center. Inhale and exhale, release. Your neck is starting to feel a little bit more warmed up, and your shoulders. Let's do a forward bend. Bring this all together. So I'm going to do this with rotation of the shoulders, but if this is too much, I'm going to give you two choices. So easier is inhale, arms coming up like this and working on that medial nerve and coming forward like this. Okay, so that's one possibility. This will be very relaxing for the neck and shoulders. You might want to do this if you've got a shoulder rotation issue. If you want to get into that rotation, alternatively, inhale, arms coming up, and just do this in your own time when you decide your variation. And exhale, coming forward, bringing those arms back and rotate the shoulders forward at the bottom. Your legs can be straight or bent. Inhale, extend back and up. And the palms are moving from towards each other to facing forward to facing back to coming on the shoulders, and relax the shoulders down. Again, that was another correction I got this trip to India, is relax the shoulders down at the end of the exhale. Inhale, extend, coming up. Just do this in your own time. You can do one shoulder at a time as well if you want to isolate, which is kind of a neat variation, which I haven't taught in a long time, but that can be very helpful when you're working with one shoulder at a time. So just, yeah, again, for the rotator cuff folks, that first version is probably the one you want to do. So you can play with that and see. The legs straight or bent, your choice. This is great for the whole upper back, neck, and shoulders. I usually do something like this as a counter to that nerve flossing exercise. It's getting into that lower back, which is our second theme today. And just finishing up. We're not going to stay in this one, just working on that range of motion. Finding your samastiti. Take a moment to rest. Okay, so it's a little bit of an unusual sequence today. We're going to go into warriors now. So I did the side movement and now we're going into warrior. So I did that to warm everything up and I'm hoping we can take it a bit further now. We're going to bring the left foot forward, the right foot turned out. Your stance, the length of your stance just depends on your body. That back foot, as you know, little toe side coming down to the floor. Try not to pronate. The knee coming towards the front toes. Okay, so many things we can do, but we're going to try this one. So hands forward. This is your exhale movement. And you bring your hands really forward as if someone's pulling them. I loop my thumbs over each other to help do that. And then on the inhale, you're going to bring your hands towards your collarbones, towards your neck. Keep those fingertips together and draw the shoulders together and slightly down and look forward. Or some of you might feel a bit more in your neck by looking slightly up. So I'm going to leave that up to you. Exhale, forward. Now this time on the inhale, palms together, hands towards collarbones, the throat. Draw your shoulders down. Think about that shoulder that might not work as well as the other one. And exhale forward. So just keep this going, these two. That's it. Inhale. Exhale. Palms together in one version. And fingertips together in the other. The elbows are at the sides. Doing around 6 rounds if you can, or take a break if it's too much. So you can take a break between rounds at any time. Feel free to do that. And then we're going to switch sides. Coming to the other side. Right foot forward, left foot turned out. Coming to that starting position, hands forward. Stretching the hands forward and stretching the upper back. Inhale, fingertips together, elbows to the sides, drawing the shoulder blades together, the hands towards collarbones, the throat. Exhale, hands forward. Looking down. Inhale, if you like, you can look up as you do this and see the difference. So just see how that affects the upper back, neck, and shoulders. Looking straight or up. Exhale forward. Looking down. Stretching those hands forward. Keep this going around 6 rounds. Take a break anytime and then restart. You're drawing those shoulders down. Keep the elbows nice and high. It's a yoga therapy adaptation. When you're finished, just coming to your samastiti. And notice how you feel. So you should be feeling quite a bit of energy here. Now, all these practices are also good for respiratory conditions, asthma, immunity, COVID, everything to do with here, and even working with opening a heart that might be a bit guarded due to one of life's experiences. So really can probably feel a lot of energy in the prāṇāyāma, in the area where we focus on prāṇavayu. Prana is that energy life force. So let's do a counter. Let's go more into apana. That was a lot of prana work. So let's go more into apana. We're going to do one leg at a time. So bringing the left foot forward, the right foot turned out. And that stance again, this trip, my teacher Radha said, you should have a bigger stance. And I'm like, okay, sure, I'll try that. So you can always have your teacher say, hey, have a slightly bigger stance. Inhale, arms coming forward, if that works for you. Now I'm going to interlock those fingers. You do not have to do this. This is Sri Vasta Ramaswamy inspired. He teaches this way. Student of Krishnamacharya is from the 60s. Exhale, forward bend. So you do not have to do this piece if you do not want to. You can bend your knee at the bottom, of course. Inhale, coming up, moving the arms first in line with the ears. And exhale forward. Now you can take a break in between, Chennai style, at any time to relax those shoulders or just go up and down. Hands can be just facing forward. You can interlock those fingers to intensify the effect. You take a break between rounds, and I clarified this with my teacher Sridhar. He said, absolutely, in your practice, if you don't want to take that in between piece, you don't have to. So that's just to take a bit of relaxation in between that we add that. That's also grounding. It's your choice on that. After you've done around 4 to 6 rounds, depending on the length of your breath, you'll stay at the bottom. When you're staying at the bottom, perhaps adding some sthiti. Inhale, lengthen the spine. Exhale, forward bend. Now, if you've got a knee problem, I'm remembering our third theme, the knees here. You might want to play with inhale, bending the knee, exhale, straightening, just to work on tracking of the knee a bit. It's a lot with knees. One is tracking the knee, the other is core strength. That can affect the knee. The other is working with the thigh, stretching it, working the calf, stretching it, and of course, working with the muscles around the knee to strengthen. So a lot goes on with the knee. And when you're ready, coming up, we're going to do a side version of this later, stepping back. If your knee doesn't like that, do not do that piece. Right foot forward, left foot turned out. So it's funny because, you know, you think advancement in yoga is advancement in all these poses, but obviously as we age, that's probably not going to be the case. So advancement in yoga has to do with our state of mind. Ultimately, the rest of it is just ways of getting in there. Inhale, arms coming up. So please modify according to your individual needs. Exhale, coming forward. So you can modify to make it easier. You can modify to make it harder. So right now I'm trying to make it a little harder by interlocking those fingers and not taking the breath in between. However, you can take that rest at any time. And you can have the palms facing forward. And do it that way. Bend that front knee at any time, or keep it straight. Finding your practice 4 to 6 times. Start to exhale before you start to move. When you've finished, at the bottom, sthiti, inhale, lengthen the spine. Exhale, forward bend. Doing this around 4 times, could be up to 6. When you're ready, coming up. Bending the front knee, stepping back. Finding your samasthiti. Okay, we're going to take it down the chain a bit into the lower back, legs. You're going to cross your left foot behind the right. You could do the opposite if you want to start on your easy side. Inhale, arms coming up from the sides or the front. Exhale, we're going to come forward. Just finding your pose. Could do this, of course, with blocks at the bottom or a chair that you bring your hands to. Inhale up, exhale down. Just doing this in your own timing. And notice the stretch in the hip and lower back of the foot that's behind you. Now, in terms of your knees, just make sure this isn't impacting your knees. You might get rid of that crossing if it's hurting your knees, or change the cross so it's not affecting your knees. Just be careful of that. It's a wonderful way to balance the hips. After around 4 times, you can consider staying or keep it moving up and down. When you're ready, coming up, you might want to consider just adding the arms a little later after staying in the pose when you come up, or not at all. Exhale, coming to your center, samasthiti. And doing your other side. Repeating around 4 times and then staying your own timing. Inhale up, exhale down. And again, be careful of those knees. Adjust the crossing accordingly. Again, you're feeling probably the hip lower back of the foot that's behind. When you finish, just coming to your samastiti. Coming to the front of your mat, possible facing east. So classically we faced east in our practice, which is exactly where I am here. We're going to do a salutation to the 7 directions, which again is something I learned from a student of Srivasa Ramaswamy, one of Krishnamacharya's students from the 1960s. He's still alive. He's in his early 80s. Wonderful teacher of our tradition. And I really love this practice. Very, very simple. It's forward bends in 7, well, actually 4 directions. And then there's going to be an upper, lower, and side direction. Most of you have seen this. So we'll do 2 rounds. First round for some of you will be new, just learning. Inhale, arms coming up by the sides. Interlock the fingers. Exhale, palms together, coming forward, and you keep the arms long. And we're going to chant Om as we come forward. So this is, you come halfway forward. This is to the east. So drawing the belly in and coming halfway down. Second round, we'll add those Oms. Inhale, coming up. We'll actually do Om Namo. Interlock the fingers, turning to your right, facing to the south. Exhale again, halfway down, palms together. Inhale, coming up, turning to your right, facing west. Exhale, exhale halfway down. Inhale, coming up, facing north. Exhale, halfway down. Inhale, coming up, facing east. Exhale in the position. Inhale, palms together. Look up, upward direction. Exhale, forward bend. Downward direction. Inhale, coming up, interlock the fingers. Exhale, palms facing up, side direction. So it looks like this, palms up, halfway down. And that's the 7th direction. Inhale, center, interlock the fingers. Exhale, namaste, namaskaram, Anjali Mudra. And here we do Om Shanti 3 times. Okay, so on each one of those, we're going to chant Om Namo. Let's adjust that light a bit. And you can think of devas or beings of light. The chant, the Vedic chant that goes with this actually talks about devas in each of these directions. So you can think about that if that has meaning for you. They're these beings of light. So I like to think of all these lovely beings of light protecting me in all these directions. This is something you can bring into your daily life as a ritual. It's also wonderful for the lower back, of course, and for letting go of tension and stress in the mind. Feet can be together classically or feet apart. I'm going to show modification. Inhale, arms coming up, facing east. Interlock those fingers. Exhale, coming halfway down. Om Namo. Inhale, coming up. Exhale, turning to the south. Inhale, in the position. Exhale, palms together. Om Namo. Inhale, coming up. Exhale, turning to the west. Inhale in the position. Exhale forward. Om Namo. Inhale, coming up. Exhale, turning to the south. Inhale in the position. Exhale halfway down. Om Namo. Inhale, coming up. Exhale, turning to your right, back to the east. Inhale, palms together, looking up the upward direction. Exhale, forward bend, palms together all the way down. Om Namo. Inhale, coming up, interlock the fingers. Exhale, palms facing up, arms apart. Om Namo. Inhale, coming up. Exhale, hands to the heart. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. One more time. You can do this on your own or with me. So I'm just going to be doing it, and you can do it with me if you like. Think of those 7 directions and the devas in those directions. I'm going to do it without the chant, but feel free to add that chant. Ready? Om Shanti together. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. And take it down to the earth. You want to put your camera on, feel free, so I can be a little bit more connected to you, your choice. Inhale, arms coming up to the sides. Exhale, forward bend. Inhale, left leg forward, left leg back rather. Bring your arms at the sides, visualize the radiant sun all around you. Exhale, forward bend. Inhale, right leg back. Visualize the radiant sun all around you. Exhale, downward facing dog. Just stay here for a number of breaths. If this pose doesn't work for you, you can always go into child's pose. You can work one leg at a time, work on your calves. When you're ready, coming to Urdhva Mukha Svanasana, up on the toes or toes down. Exhale, child's pose. Adho Mukha Vajrasana. Hands can be forward in Namaste, Namaskaram, or behind if that feels better for your shoulders. Just think of something perhaps you would like to offer to the fire of your practice, the fire of the sun, something you'd like to burn away, a pattern, a thought pattern that is causing you perhaps some suffering or an experience you would like to change in your life. If you like, moving into the physical body, coming to the right side and then the left or the opposite, and just doing a side child to get into the side body. The other side. Coming to lie down, we're going to do this with vinyasa. Dandasana. Inhale, arms coming up Thanks for the cameras. It's nice not to just teach to empty boxes, even if I can't see all of you. Inhale, exhale, coming down. You're going to draw the belly in as you come down. Now, if this is too much, you can always bend those knees. Inhale, Tadaka Mudra. You can point those toes if you like. Exhale, pelvic floor, lower belly, belly button in as you sit up. If this is too much, again, you can bend those knees. This is just kind of fun. Inhale, coming up. This is another one that is inspired by Srivasta Ramaswamy. He does slightly different breath. I'm doing the movement all on exhale for safety. He does actually this part on inhale, which is a little unusual, but it's because you're moving away from the core. I find it definitely easier on exhale. Inhale, arms coming up, pointing those toes. Exhale, pelvic floor, lower belly, belly button in as you sit up in Dandasana. Inhale, arms coming up, chin in. Exhale, rolling down. And one last time. Inhale, arms coming up. Tadaka Mudra. Exhale, sitting up. And the next time we're going to lie down. Inhale, arms up. And exhale, rolling down. And if you want to adjust your camera so I can see you lying down, we're going to be here for a little bit. So feel free if that works with where you're at. We're going to work on those the neck and shoulders again. So, and if you want to add knees, we're going to have a sub-theme of that. I know my knee student has needed to run to teach a class, but I'll just keep this in case she can look at the video later. So with blocks under your thighs or a pillow or nothing, inhale, arms coming up to the floor behind you. Exhale, flex the toes towards the nose as you bring your hands down. We'll just start with the knees and then I'm going to move into the neck a bit more. Inhale, arms up, pointing those toes, tucking the chin down. Exhale, flex the toes towards the nose and pull up as much as you can. So this is the main exercise I do whenever I have a knee problem, is to just strengthen around the knees. It's good for arthritis of the knees. I know one of you has that going on. Tucking the chin in at the top of the inhale, Jalandhara Bandha. Exhale, pelvic floor, lower belly, belly button in, zipping up from the pelvic floor up. And probably your knees are starting to get a little tired. The muscles around them, that is. Okay, we're going to move into the neck now. So in terms of the feet, you can put them right at the wall if you've got one, or just hold this position, Suptasana. Inhale, arms coming up, Tadaka Mudra. Exhale, you're going to bring one arm down and turn your head the same direction. So this is my right, which I'm doing just so you can see me better, the first side. Turning your head away from that top arm, and you're going to stay there. And as you exhale, turning the head a bit more towards the floor. Inhale, unturn just a little bit. And just keep that going. Now make sure the top of the head is towards that top arm, for a rotation that's aligned the top of the head with the base of the spine. So the top of the head more towards the top arm, away from the turn. Inhale, untwist a little bit. Exhale, twist a bit more. Draw that belly in. We've warmed up lots, so hopefully you're ready for this deeper stretch of the neck now and shoulder. When you're ready, untwisting the head. Exhale in the position. Just take a little break here. Inhale, both arms up, nod the chin in. Exhale, the other arm down, turn the head away from that top arm towards the other side, the top of the head towards that top arm. The lower hand the palm can be up or down, your choice. As you exhale, turn the head towards the floor. Just that top arm to comfort, might need to widen it. Inhale, untwist a little bit, and exhale, twist some more. When you feel complete, untwist the head as you inhale. Exhale, bringing that hand down. And just rest, Suptasana or Shavasana, your choice. Suptasana is Supta Asana, just with your feet parallel. Shavasana is you let the feet go, there's no holding. Okay, Dvipadipedam. Focus on the lower back, the knees, and the upper back. So the three themes, bringing those together. I'm putting a block between the knees. You can put a pillow or nothing. You could also have the legs together. Classically, the legs are together, and you hug in that way. If your hips are more narrow, that might be appropriate for you. So I'm bringing my heels fairly close to my buttocks. Inhale, lifting up, pressing into the feet, lifting up. Exhale, stay here. Press into that block. Inhale, bring the arms up, lift the hips higher. Exhale, as you come down, leave your hands where they are and stretch them away as you roll the spine down from the upper back to the middle back, the lower back. At the end of the exhale, bring the hands down. So that's just add a bit more for the upper back. Inhale, lift the hips up. The hands are down. Press into those feet. Exhale, stay. Press into the block. Stay another breath. Inhale, lift higher. Exhale, stay. Inhale, arms coming up, lift even higher. Exhale, roll down from the upper back to the lower back, stretching those hands behind as if someone's pulling you. At the end of the exhale, hands down. Inhale, coming up, Dvipadipedam. Stay in 3 breaths now. Exhale. Inhale. Each time you inhale, try to lift a little higher. Exhale, hugging in. Inhale, lift a little higher. Exhale, hugging in. Inhale, arms coming up, lift higher still. Exhale, rolling down. Hands down at the end. And rest. Just as a counter pose. Classically, it's āsana. Lately, my teacher Shridhar is doing the windshield wiper as a counter because it's not really much of a twist. You're working with releasing the hips. Inhale, center, exhale, sides. So you can do that if you want, or if you prefer, knees to chest. Counter. The counters usually don't have stays, just very easy moving side to side. When you're ready, finishing up. Bring the knees to the chest. We're going to do a version of Apanasana from Uttanasana. So inhale, you're going to stretch the legs out in front. And we're going to add a Tadaka Mudra. Inhale, arms up. So you can do it with the arms down, Sutasana, or I'm going to do Tadaka Mudra a little easier. Exhale, drawing those legs in, bring the knees to the chest. And you can do this one knee at a time or both. Inhale, extend out. So if you want to work harder in the core, you can do it without the arms. Adding the arms is definitely adding upper back, neck, and shoulders, and usually a little easier to engage the core. If you want another challenge, try not hugging your knees. Bring your hands down by your sides and just use your mula, your core strength, to draw your knees in. Quite different. Start to exhale before you start to move, so you're really engaging the mula bandha all the way from the pelvic floor to the belly button. And last time. And again, this variation is from Srivastava Ramaswamy. The Apanasana we normally teach is just holding the knees, but this version stretching the legs and then adding the knee movement adds a bit more core strength to it. So feel free to play with that. Just hugging the knees, turning to your right side if that's comfortable, left side exposed, coming up to seated. So we're going to do just a few positions to work with the hips. So yeah, I'll face this way to start. Actually, I'll just see how you guys do in terms of seeing me. I think you'll be able to see me okay this way. So yes, I think I'd like to face east. I'm going to go the other direction. All right. So starting with your right foot towards your thigh, Janu Shirshasana, and yeah, classically we sit facing east. Make sure your knee's not bothering you. You can have a prop under the knee. You can put your foot under the thigh. All those variations. The foot closer to the groin, harder, further towards the knee, usually easier. Sitting on a block, easier. All those choices. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, forward bend. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, forward bend. Just keep this going your own timing. After doing 3 to 4 times, consider staying in the pose, Janu Shirshasana, knee to head pose. Again, you can take that pause in between coming to the starting position, which is usually what my teachers in Chennai do. If you want to take that extra pause, you can keep it moving or stay now. Now in the stay, you can go between halfway up and exhale, forward bend. Or just stay in the pose. Working with a tightness in the lower back, you can play twisting to one side or the other. Get into that QL again, a bit more on the right side if your left leg is forward by twisting to the left. So away from the bent leg. When you're ready, coming up, switching sides. One side might be different than the other for me. My left is very different than my right. I need a prop on this side. So you don't want to hurt the knee by rotating beyond what's comfortable. Inhale, arms coming up, exhale, forward, Janu Shirshasana. You can interlock those fingers if you like as you come forward to add a bit more of a stretch. And this 3 to 4 times. Inhale, chest to belly, exhale, belly to chest. You can keep it moving or you can stay. You can do a dynamic stay, adding that sthiti. Inhale, halfway up, exhale, forward bend. You can stay in your forward bend. Again, you can stay center, you can twist to one side or the other. Add more of a side stretch, hip stretch in a different way, lower back stretch in a different way. And ready, coming up. Finding your Baddha Konasana. Inhale here and exhale. Coming forward. Just staying here, or if you like, inhale, coming up And then exhale, this is a variation I've created. Exhale, draw the belly in, round the spine, and at the end of the exhale, come forward. Inhale, lengthen the spine, arching the spine. Exhale, rounding the spine. At the end of the exhale, come forward. And then when you're ready, you can just stay in the pose, or you can keep it moving if you're a bit tighter in the hips. It can be helpful to keep that movement. So that's inspired by my background in Martha Graham dancing in my 20s. There's a lot of this kind of movement, this rounding and then forward. So I find it's very, very soothing for the hips. And when you're ready, you can stay forward. You might have a block or two to land on, or a pillow. Ready, coming out of the pose. And having a seat, pranayama. And hopefully now, because of that hip work we just did, you can sit comfortably. So I did that that's my sequence that I do before I sit to prepare my hips, because I have tight hips, but some of you probably don't need to do all of that. But if you do, and in this position, just make sure your knees aren't hurting. So lately I've been doing the Sukhasana I learned from my Iyengar yoga with the feet under the knees to prop each one up evenly, as that's feeling really good for me lately. So that's an option, or you can have props on both sides. I have a prop under my buttocks. Again, whatever's comfortable for your body. You can also sit in a chair. Spine straight is the ideal for pranayama. Inhale both nostrils. We're going to do pratiloma ujjayi pranayama. And I'm going to mirror you. Exhale with your left hand, exhaling through the left nostril. Now you can use your right hand the whole time if you like. Inhale through that left nostril, half closed. Exhale, ujjayi center. This pranayama is like the letter M. Inhale, ujjayi both nostrils. I'm doing it short this time just to show it. Exhale through your right nostril. I'm switching hands, elbow high, half closed nostril. Inhale the right nostril. Half closed. Exhale, ujjayi both nostrils. So it's ujjayi center. Exhale left. Inhale left. Exhale center. Inhale ujjayi center. Exhale right nostril. Inhale right nostril. Exhale both. You can switch hands, or in India, they just use the right hand because of their habits, their toiletry habits of past. I like to use both hands to add a bilateral stimulation and work with my neck, so it's not always one side. Your choice. Have fun. We're going to do about 3 rounds, and if you have time, you can sit after the practice and continue. So I'm not going to call it. Pick a ratio that works for you. Inhale 6 to 12 seconds. Exhale the same. You can add a hold after inhale, half the length of the inhale, or even the same length. And the same with the exhale. If you want to work more with Brahmana, You can focus on a longer inhale. So that's to expand the energy. If you want to work more with Langana, you can lengthen your exhale. You can add the hold after exhale. That's to reduce toxins of mind and body, more grounding. Starting when you're ready. Just one more round. And just finishing up. It's a very balanced pranayama that you can continue after we close with Om Shanti. And if you have time to meditate, that also would be a wonderful way to continue your practice for 15 to 30 minutes. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Namaste, namaskaram. Thank you very much.